Hey guys, I hope that you're doing great. So today we're gonna be looking about the botany first year, the very first topic of the botany section of first year biology. That is the introduction, needs, and basis of classification. Right. So first of all, for understanding the topic, we need to understand what the word classification is. Classification, right? So classification, uh, it is also called as taxonomy, right? It is also called as taxonomy, and taxonomy is derived from Greek. It is a Greek word, and in which taxo, taxo, taxo means arrangement, while the norms means laws. So from it is very clear that we have something, the classification which is also called as taxonomy is something that is related to the arrangement and the laws, arrangement laws, right? So arrangement laws, what sort of arrangement and what sort of laws they will be living to living organisms that would be relating to this, right? So let us describe the basic definition to understand it more clearly. So, if we talk about the basic definition, so classification, right? So, classification is the techniques, uh, is the techniques and uh, tricks, tricks of arrangement, classifying, naming, uh, grouping of what of living organisms on what basis? On basis of their their similarities and dissimilarities. What does that mean? That the definition very clear that classification is something, or taxonomy is something. Even though, let me tell you that taxonomy is, also we are not about that taxonomy in the branches section of the very first part of the book. Like taxonomy is a branch of science that deals with the arrangement, naming, classification. Like that is the same taxonomy and classification that are just we can say alternatives, or they are both linked to each other. Uh, so, what does classification or taxonomy means? That are the techniques and the tricks of arrangement. We'll be looking into methods to, we're looking into methods. We're looking into tricks and tips for arrangement, for for formally managing all of them, all of living organisms, classifying, making groups, naming groups, giving them scientific names and other names, and on what basis of which we are doing, all of we are doing techniques, classifying, naming, grouping of what of living organisms on what basis? On basis of their similarities and dissimilarities, right? Even though we cannot say that we are just doing classification on the basis of similarities, we are considering the both, right? So what we are why we are doing this, right? So we let me move forward on the next page. The question is why we are doing this, what is the need to do this, why are we naming, classifying, or what is the purpose of all this? So let me tell you, there are around 2.5 million different species discovered till today. There are around this sort of these this number of species has been discovered, and that is a, a great number. And uh, some organisms are such similar that we will be unable to consider that. We just say that they are both similar or the same, but that is not. We are able to classify organisms, and make are able to understand what they are, what they constitute of, what is the difference between that and others. That is all due to, there we are looking into formal arrangement, even though that is, uh, if we talk about the history, so from history it is coming like in a way that, in history, if we talk about history, so in history it is coming in a way that people first did classification, very basic classification. For suppose, uh, they said that uh, toxic plants, non-toxic plants, non-toxic plants, right? They did this basic classification, that they just said that this is toxic plant, this is not toxic, and we need to classify them, even though that was beneficial from that time. But same thing is, the same thing is, has been to a large level, or say that that has developed a lot, and we just are, making formal and going into deep into it day by day, and that is even beneficial, right? We are able to understand all the living organisms around us because of this, and we are categorizing them on basis of this, on the similarities and dissimilarities. So people just did that, toxic plant, non-toxic plant, dangerous animal, and non-dangerous animal, right? So the people just started in the history, but like this basic classification, and even though that was beneficial from them, we are known about this. So this keep, it kept developing day by day, and it has came now into several sort of groups, and that is beneficial, right? So that was the startup of the classification. And if we talk further on, so what is the classification based on? The classification classification is based on characters, right? Uh, Characters. What we are looking into characters. What are the characters? First of all, let us understand what are the characters. So characters are something, we can say that the characters are, so characters, you can say the characters are, uh, they are the attributes of any organism on the basis of which they can be identified. It is attributes for identification. These are something, that were character is something like attribute. So attributes are, characters are the attributes for identification. Let us take an example to make it more clear. Like, the example of character would be like height, color, color. So these are, basic examples of character. Like, we are looking some to into, these are the attributes for identification. We looking into, you know we will be looking into organisms having similar height, not similar height. You will be having similar color or not similar color. So classification is somehow based on the characters, and the characters are, looking into the similarities on the non-similarities on the basic things, like such as the height and color. And if we talk about characters, so characters are further based on, the characters are further based on expressions expressions. So characters are further based on expressions. Characters are measured by expressions. uh, what are expression? Let me give you an example, so that would be clear. Like, we have taken an example of height. If we talk about height, so let us take an example of color. So brown color, brown color. So that is, uh, the height is a character, while the brown, okay, the color is a character, while brown color is a expression. So from here it is clear that if height is a character, so expression would be tall height or dwarf height, simply. So characters are based on the expressions, in the way that we are, looking to deep answers. Like, we have just got that here in the character we have got height, but we have got something deep like brown color like over here in the expression, so that makes it more clear in the field of classification. So expressions can be further of two forms, that is uh, qualitative qualitative and quantitative. So qualitative and quantitative, that is also very similar. I do hope that you will understand that for suppose brown color, that is a quality, right? uh, in quantitative brown color, and in quantitative we have height. So uh, we have 13.5 meter height. So that is a quantity, right? So that will be considering under the quantitative expression. Let me take another example to make it more clear. So here we can say that uh, tall height tall height is a qualitative expression, right? We are looking into quality, qualitative are based on adjectives, right? So here in quantitative we have like uh, 13 point no, 3.3 mm petal length. Okay, petal length. Petal length, in this example, 3.3 petal length. We can say that 3.3 petal length is a kind of quantitative expression. If would be it like if it is like petal length, so that would be simply a expression. If it is like a large petal length, that would be quantitative, while it is 3.3 a particular number, a quantity, so that would be quantitative expression. So I do hope that that was quite clear. I do hope that we're gonna meet another video next very soon. So goodbye.